Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the viewers around the world. This is Denzomos, and you're welcome to the page of freedom, the page of enlightenment, and the page of breaking empaths free. Now, people, if you're new and you're just coming in, definitely you've clicked on this page, you're looking for answers. So in that case, if you're new to my page, you're very welcome, and I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe if the content resonates. And for the ones who've always been with me, I welcome you back to the page, and I thank you for the love and support, and I thank you for being part of the tribe. Now, people, I want you to remember something very serious. Narcissistic abuse is real, and as real as it is, or as real as it can get. In my videos, I've already stuck to the spiritual part of it, because I've always believed that there's a spiritual connection. There's something spiritual connected to all this kind of abuse, all this narcissistic abuse. So it's the spiritual warfare. So there is more about the spiritual part of it than the physical part of it. The most of the abuse is actually behind the scenes, and that is why it's spiritual, because most of the abuse, what is happening, is usually behind the scenes. And also, a subscriber of mine was asking about. There was a subscriber actually who is struggling to leave the narcissist, and they don't know how to do it. And I've noticed that actually many of my subscribers, they have usually, even some of the people who are still following me on my page, they are still with the narcissists, and they are still struggling to leave the narcissist, because they don't know exactly how can they successfully leave these individuals. And very soon, anyway, I think somewhere down this week, during this week, I'm going to make a video about that. I'm going to make a video about the exit strategy. And in that video, we shall go step by step on how to leave the narcissist. But in this video, I'm going to follow up on the dangers of dating the narcissist. Last time we talked about the addictions, and then we went on to talk about the second one, which was there was the addictions, and then there was the low self-esteem, which I did recently. In this third one, we are going to go a bit spiritual, and I'm going to ask everybody, if you're following me on my page, to listen to me very carefully, because it is very likely you've not heard some of these things before. And some of the things I might say, they may be quite disturbing, but like I've always said in my videos, this is a page of enlightenment, so you're getting enlightened. And some of the enlightenment you might get from my page, it may not come out the way you want to hear it, because it may not be something you've always had, and it may not be something that you had expected. So it may come out as something you've not had before, and it might be shocking, or it might be disturbing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about, on top of the abuse being emotional, we're talking about dangers of dating a narcissist. So on top of the abuse being emotional, on top of the abuse being physical, whether they have abused you emotionally, which they always do in most of the cases, or even if they have abused you physically, there are some victims actually, maybe not all of them, but most of the victims of narcissistic abuse, they may also experience psychic attacks. Now, people, listen very carefully in this video. I would like to request you to listen very carefully in this video what I'm going to say. There is something you might have heard about called the psychic attacks. In my videos, I've made it very clear that you are dealing with a spiritual warfare. When you're with a narcissist, you are fighting a spiritual battle. So you can forget about the physicality of the narcissist. The most of the abuse is happening in the background, and the kind of abuse is going, most of the abuse, what is happening between you and the narcissist, most of the abuse is happening in the background. It is not something you're going to see with the physical eye. Some of it you will see, some of it you will hear, but most of the abuse, the deepest of it, is actually happening in the background. If you have been with a narcissist, definitely, there have come a point whereby you have also experienced psychic attacks. Now, how do you tell you are being attacked psychically? You're going to pay attention to the dreams. In the dreams, if you go to sleep and if you go to sleep with a narcissist, and probably somewhere down the road you've been abused for quite a while, certain period of time, you're going to experience choking in the dreams. Now, choking in the dreams, I mean, it is that moment whereby you can Google it if you know, if you have experienced that kind of situation in your life during the narcissistic relationship. You can Google it. Choking is that incident whereby you wake up in the middle of the night and it feels as if you've run out of breath. It feels as if you're choking and you're running out of breath. Me personally, I can guarantee you that for almost 6-7 years, I used to experience choking. So it is that time of the night whereby you wake up and all of a sudden you're choking. It's like you're running out of breath. It feels as if you're fighting for your life and you're running out of breath. It has happened so many times and I've seen it myself. And so many people as well that I know and even heard and I've even spoken about, they have experienced choking. But most of the time is because it is very hard for you to understand that more of this choking, what is happening, it has got everything to do with the people you're dating, because those people, they are abusing you psychologically, they are abusing you emotionally. The abuse is happening in the background. And on spiritual basis, on spiritual level, if you have experienced a case whereby you are choking in the night, all of a sudden you've woken up for so many times. I've told you that in my own case, and the people I know myself, the people I've even heard about, and the people I've seen, it may not happen every day that you're choking every day. It's not like every night you go to sleep and you'll be choking. It will happen like in intervals. It can happen like every 2 or 3 months, every 3 months. But in my case, it would happen like every 3 or 4 months. I would experience choking in my dreams. I'll be sleeping and all of a sudden I have a certain dream and I just happen to get up and I'm choking. Actually, it's like I'm losing breath. It has come to that moment whereby actually I even thought that I would not even make it, because the choking was very intensive and I didn't know how to get back my breath and to start breathing again. I was fighting for my life in the night. So many times I've told you, people in these narcissistic relationships, the narcissist, they are after your life. It is not a funny situation, and it is not a situation whereby you think you are dating somebody who wants the best for you. The narcissist, they are after your life. Another way you will know that you're actually being psychically attacked, you might actually be dreaming, because the psychic attacks usually happen in the dreams. Most of the time they're happening in the dreams. It's like your spirit is being attacked. Your spirit, your personal, your inner spirit is being attacked. So the people you're dating, the people you think you believe to be your husband's wife, you're sleeping next to, they are the people actually who are attacking you in the night. Whether they know it, whether they don't know it, like I've said in some of my videos, the narcissists, they have not yet awakened to the fact. Some of them, they have awakened, they know that they're narcissists. Some of them, they have not. So it is not every narcissist actually they know that they're narcissists. Some of them have not yet awakened. But whether they know it or they don't know it, the people they are dating actually, they are attacking them psychically. If you're that kind of person who has experienced many times in the night, you're waking up in the night and you're struggling to breathe. It feels as if you've lost the breath and you're struggling. You're fighting for your life. You're struggling to breathe. You're very likely being psychically. You're very likely undergoing something what they call a psychic attack. You're being attacked in your dreams, in your sleep. The people you're dating, I will maintain it. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. It is a spiritual warfare. The narcissist is attacking you spiritually, they're attacking you physically, they're attacking you mentally, they're attacking you emotionally. And they're even attacking you in your dreams. Whether you know it or you don't know it, the narcissist is always on the attack. So, psychic attacks, that is a very common thing. So for the many people who have had narcissists in their lives, who have been with narcissists in their lives, you're going to experience, they have experienced or they are also going to experience psychic attacks. It usually happens in the dreams. You might wake up in the morning and you're choking. You're choking on breath. It's like it's like you run out of breath and you're choking. You're like fighting. You're fighting to breathe. You're struggling to breathe. You cannot breathe in the night. So there's that moment of the choke. You can go in. I might have to put a description in the. I'm going to try to write more a bit of the choking part in the description below. But there's always a case whereby you're choking. When you're choking in the night, is a sign that you're actually undergoing a psychic attack. And most of the victims of narcissistic abuse, because you are dealing with something very spiritual and very sinister, whether you know it or you don't know it, that is always a spiritual battle. And the narcissist, most of this part of the spiritual battle you're fighting might involve actually in the night, when you actually, because that is the moment when you are most vulnerable. Anybody who goes to sleep, that is the moment. If you're not a person who is prayerful and you just jump in bed anywhere and you just go to sleep, it may be very difficult for you actually to sleep fully protected. So it may require you most of the times even to actually, if you know that you're going to bed and you're going to sleep and you do not yet know the people you're dealing with, I might advise you to actually, before you go to sleep, you need to say a prayer. You need to be very prayerful. You need to be very prayerful, and you need to be in alignment, in tune with yourself before you go to bed. Because if you're going to sleep, that is the moment when everybody is we are all very vulnerable. When we are going to bed, that is the moment when we start to be very vulnerable, because anything can happen during the night. You've heard about so many cases of people who have actually woken up. It's like they went to sleep and they died in their sleep. You've heard about cases where people died in their sleep. There are even people you've heard about, they have choked in their sleep. It may not take you long to realize that those people who have usually choked in their sleep or even died in their sleep, you might start to follow their background, and you might find a narcissist along their line. Surprisingly, if you start to follow their background and you start to follow where they're coming from, where they have been, you might find a narcissist in their journey. It is most likely you've not heard about this before, but I can guarantee you, people, when you've dealt or when you're dealing with a narcissist, it's very likely you're going to experience choking in your sleep. If it doesn't happen in the choking way, it can happen where you have like very, very intensive nightmares. It's like as if you feel as if you're fighting for your life in the dream. It feels as if like there is people running after you. There's people after you. It's like there are forces unknown forces. Even sometimes people, myself, I've experienced these things, and I will never talk about something I've not seen. You might experience also that is like there are people after you, there are people struggling to take your life. It's like there are some forces, unknown forces, whether you see them, whether you don't see them. It will feel as if in your dream there is things or forces that are after your life. It's like you're struggling. People are running after you. You're running away from people. People are struggling to take your life. So most of the psychic dreams, you might go and get more information, Google it up, get more information on it, and do some more research. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it is very likely when you're dating a narcissist, you're also going to experience psychic attacks. That is because the narcissist, like I've said in my previous videos, these people are spiritually unplugged. There is nothing good they want for you, and they don't wish you well. As much as they're going to pretend that they're in a relationship with you, they're your boyfriends, whatever, husbands, those individuals you're dating, they don't wish you well. Whether they know it, like I've said, some of them don't even know that they're narcissists. Whether they know it or they don't, they do not wish you well for whatsoever, for whichever way, they do not wish you well. And whatever they are doing, the end result is destroying you. So people, in my video, that's all I wanted to say for this video. Psychic attacks, be aware and beware of psychic attacks. If you're that person who is struggling in the night, You're choking. I've choked. I think in my personal journey, I could have been choking like for a period of around 6 years, probably. I was choking. I used to wake up in the night like I was struggling to breathe. I was losing my breath in the night, in the middle of the night. But like I've said in my videos, people, you are a chosen one. There is nothing is going to happen. You're a prayerful guy. You're a prayerful person. You're a warrior. You're a survivor. You're a fighter, and you're a chosen one. Nothing is going to happen, no matter what. You just have to keep in prayer before you go to bed. Make sure that you pray. I don't know what you want, whichever spiritual activity you want to be. Maybe you want to meditate. Maybe you want to pray, but make sure you go to bed protected. And when you go to bed protected, like in my own case, ever since I exited the narcissist relationship, that was the last time I experienced choking in my sleep. So that's what I wanted to say in my video, people. For the subscriber who talked about who wanted me to talk about the exit strategy, who are struggling to leave the narcissist, I'm going to make a video very soon about that. How to leave the narcissist strategically, how to leave the narcissist. So I'm going to create a video about the exit strategy, the way you can leave a narcissist without causing any kind of chaos. Because like I've always said in my videos, you need always to leave the narcissist very quietly, very softly and quietly. You need to take them by surprise. Until then, guys, much love and blessings. It's been a pleasure to have you guys on board. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree with this or not, and I'll get back to you in my next video. Desmond signing out. Much love.